Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Channel member Don, channel member Dan, channel member Darren. That's a lot of D's. Rob, Amy, Brian, Gaten, Rex, Will. Good morning, everybody. I know Goose is here somewhere. And how's it going? How's it going? Welcome to another day. And we have the dock workers going on strike yesterday, October 1st, beginning of the quarter. East Coast dock workers. And, well, might this cause supply chain snarls? I don't know. Estimated that at $5 billion a day of, I guess, products not moving through the ports while they're essentially shut down until they can come up with a labor deal. So, we'll see. Yeah, Rosh Hashanah starts tonight, and some of my friends taking some time off. So, if you're of that faith, have a good time. Anyway, jumping into the everything, I guess. Let's go back to the place where we got to start every time. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. No stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. And oh, look at that daylight savings for Australia coming up. Getting those daylight savings shifts in here for different places. And dun, 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 dun. Well, I don't know. Yesterday we got a little violent here when we got these numbers, right? Things got a little spicy in the market. And maybe it was those numbers. Maybe it was Iran attacking Israel. Maybe it's just the market needed a correction. You tell me. You tell me. Who do you believe? What narrative, right? Which one of the many narratives do you want to believe in? Now, this morning we had the non-farm employment change coming in. Little positive. We were expecting 124. We got 143. It's kind of in line with what we expected last time. Hey, I mean, that's good for the market, right? More jobs. Why aren't we up so far? I mean, we're just kind of like hovering so far while it came in. Tomorrow. October 3rd. These are the things to watch out for. Right there, the unemployment claims. We get that every week. Final services PMI, ISM services PMI. And on Friday, we get the jobs, the unemployment rate. It's the monthly jobs report, non-farm unemployment change. Is that going to jive? Is this going to be in line with what we saw up here yesterday? Maybe. That's they're expecting 144. This one came in 143. You tell me if it's gonna be that way. So that's the economic news coming out for the rest of the week. Israel's going to be retaliating on Iran. Iran fired a bunch of missiles. The U.S. shot down some, and other people shot down others. And Israel's Iron Dome went to work. And I thought it was funny. Hey, you watch the videos online on the social media stuff. Some people are like, they're not shooting down any of the missiles, but they were actually disabling them before they fell out of the sky. So it's, I guess it's all relative what you consider shooting them down. They've got to come out of the sky at some point. So it's definitely hard to tell. I mean, I didn't see a lot of big booms when they were hitting the ground. So, alrighty. So was that did that cause the market to freak out? I don't know. It definitely caused oil to go a little nutsy cuckoo yesterday. Nutsy cuckoo is what I would call it. And looking at the oil charts, we might we might get a spicy breakout here, especially if they retaliate and take out Iran's oil infrastructure. The market could get a knee-jerk pop reaction. It's kind of a, could be a worst case scenario for the incumbent. Like I said, if we hang out down here, incumbent team wins. If we pop up here, incumbent team probably loses. It's probably as simple as that on the election. Comes down to this. Can we keep stable oil prices low? If we don't, we pop up here, gas prices shoot up, pump prices shoot up. That's what people see every week when we go buy gas at the pump. That's what people see. And then every time you buy anything that's transported with fuel, you feel that pinch because it just trickles right down. So there you go. There you go. Israel attacks oil infrastructure. This thing probably pop off. I've been looking for it to go long. Like the chart says we're going long. Brent says we're going long. Gasoline says we're going long. Heating oil, diesel fuel says we're going long. I mean, that's why I added some 2026 exposure long. I don't know how long it's going to take, so I went basically as far as I could possibly go out here in 26 and bought my position. And you asked for the weapon of choice. It's this baby right here. This baby right here is my weapon of choice. Now you could do like you can go out there all that distance by like a 27-37 or maybe a 30-40 spread. You buy the long here, sell the short up here. Because, I mean, do we really think it's breaking out? I mean, if it does, this could go. Talk about nutsy cuckoo. See what we did? Measured bounce. It's just taking a while to get off of it here. If this were to go crazy, look at this move. Look at this move. 23. Ideal target would be up here. In that vicinity right there. 70, 80. That's a pretty big move. Maybe like, well, I don't know about that. I mean, look. Right there. Right there. Right around the time of the last split. And that was 4-for-1 split. Right around that time of the last split. 54. 54. That's like double where we are now. So UCO is leveraged. What's the difference? This is leveraged. This is not US oil fund. This is leveraged oil. All right. Now, could this explode higher? Yeah, you betcha it could. If oil actually goes up, this thing could explode higher. So be careful. This is leveraged. Leveraged instruments have substantial risk of loss greater than normal instruments. USO is just the US oil fund right there. Now, this one, a bit higher prices. We did rebalance it back here. That's a reverse split. Not my favorite. Had to do it. Did not do the measure bounce. At least not on this. Yeah, not on either one. So, does not have a measure bounce in place. So, potential for this one, not nearly as spicy. Probably not going to do that. Probably not going to 135. This stays a little more in line with the actual price of the futures. That's kind of their goal for USO, to stay relatively in line. So right now we're looking at a potential to rally up into the 90 area on USO. That's where I expect the futures to go. Now it could get a little overexcited. 105 is where we really need to test. Right here, this 618 level. We'll probably come up there and test it. If we hold it, we could go down. If we break through, we could go up. And those targets up here, we've had them on the chart for a long time. 150, 140, 120, 100, 110, right in there. So we've got lots of targets. And if things get really spicy, 170. Those have all been out here for over a year. When we made this low right here, it set all those targets up. Target's been sitting out there. So sometimes these things take a long time to play out, and it's just the nature of the beast. Here, I'm gonna move my phone sitting where my hand usually sits. All right, I don't want to call anybody while I'm live here. So, dock workers striking seems to cause a little downward pressure on the markets here, and well, we might do that 618 retrace. Did this rally, we might do a 618 retrace right down in here. We did leave the gap. We have that to contend with also. Let's look at the overnight action, see if we can glean any information here, any at all. So we've got the high, the recent high right there. We made the initial move down. Let's just kind of clean it up and talk here a minute. We did hit the upside target. All right. We did hit that target on the futures. That is done. We made the initial move down. Off of this high right here, we moved down to that low and retraced quite deeply right here. That's a retrace of, when the move down, that's a retrace right there. All right. When I talk about retraces, they don't just have to be down. They can be up. So we've got the 3-point fib tool. First point, second point, third point right there. 1, 2, 3. In case anybody's missing that, that's the first point. That's the second point. And that's the third point right there. Now we're into the support zone. So this can be the bottom of this move. Like we can just be working through, and we may get one more little dip down, touch that 57.30. This is on futures for ES, which is the S&P 500. E-mini futures right there. We may see that one more dip down, firmly hit the 1272. It depends on which, I have it kind of pretty much hitting it yesterday on this chart right here, a little bit shy. So we could get a little more firm of a touch, and it could extend all the way down to 5704. But if we do that, we're likely to get a bigger reaction here. So I do expect us to kind of hold this zone right in here. Break back above the 15-minute, come back, retest, and go up. The market is set for a potential rally here. Now, why do I say that? Because of this one. This one right here indicates that we're hunting for a strong reversal because we came up shy of the target. This one may need, this one only hit the 100%, where the first move down right here to the retrace, and then the next move down, we're at parity. So we did an echo of this move down off of here right to that level and went a little faster. Those second moves tend to go a little faster most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. So we've got a nice support right here, another one right here, and if we can break above the thing, retest it, the roadmap line, probably going cruising, that target right now, right up here. We came up shy. If you don't watch me every day, that's okay, you don't have to, but here's the high probability trade we're working on right now. Here's the high probability. We bounced off of the roadmap line over here. We bounced off. We came up. We broke through the 618 level. We fired off an entry. So it looks like this. Right like that. We got the entry right back here. Turn on my algorithm. Kind of show you high probability, 71% of the time. Fired off. The target is right up here, 21,413.50. That's the target. 71% of the time, we're likely to go hit that target. So even we may retrace even back to that 618 level right there, where we had a little trouble getting through. Got a little higher. We may retest it again before we can come up here. So if we start pushing down through those levels I was just talking about a second ago with the 100% and the 1272, we may find resistance there. We may, and if we don't find, support right there, we may come all the way down in here, retest the roadmap line a third time, because that's 1, that's 2, that'd be a third time. Now, you're like, JT, does that change the statistics at all? I haven't done any calculations on that at all. I keep it simple, the pattern. That high, that low, there's the entry. The trade's valid until either we hit that or we go $1 below the low right down here. 71% of the time, we're going to do that. That leaves 29% of the time. We're going to do that right there. All right. Got to be prepared for both outcomes. Got to be prepared for both outcomes. All right. Now, we haven't broke out yet. So, haven't broken out yet. All right. Russell, last night during 30 Minutes of Awesome. Great show. Thank you for those that showed up. It's the only time of the week I do requests. Right here, I speculated we may have this pattern cooking. So we could see Russell come down here, find a low, rally back right here, while the S&P and NASDAQ go to those all-time highs. NASDAQ hits its target over here, and then we break the neckline and go cruising on down. That's something that might play out. Now, it does have the same high probability entry, and this one is actually a little spicier. A little bit spicier than NASDAQ. So we may actually see it rally on up and hit the target. 89% of the time, we go up and hit the target. I just don't feel like the small caps are strong right now. I'm not sure we're going to do it. I'm not betting against it, but I'm just not. I'm feeling this price action right here is set up for a failure below that low right there, instead of getting the target up here at 23.68. Kind of got this feeling like we're gonna fake it out and then break down and get a loss, mark up a loss on that one. When I dig down and look at this price action, it's just not bullish, but that doesn't negate it from going up here and then doing that. So one way or another, we may do a head and shoulders, or we may just pop up there, hit the target, and roll. I don't think we're going to make a higher high than we made the high we set right back here. I don't think we're going to do it. Highly doubt we're going to make a higher high than this high right here. I don't think we can do it. I think Russell's set up in a big flush out scenario. It's just a matter of, do we do it from here? Do we do it from over here? How long do we grind it, trying to get back up there before we roll? And this thing can stay in this zone longer than anybody can stay in the trade. So be careful going short until we have the full thing. All right. I don't think we're just going to roll from where we are. I think we're going to set up this head and shoulders before we actually break down. Don't just short it till the pattern's in place. All right. S5TW, stocks above their 20-day. We came up near the 80. This may, so this one may need to dip down a little bit before we can go up again. That might have to happen. Stocks above their 20-day. Might, just be careful. We got up near 80. We may go back down a little bit before we go up again. S5FI. This one's been poking out, making some higher highs. If we get above 90 on this one, it's probably indicating we're getting near the top. See, anytime we get all the way up to 90. We don't hang out there long before we go on a big kind of dip. So we can grind 80 for a long time, but once we get over 90, that's the watch out. Watch out, watch out. Right there. S5TH, still working on topping out here. We popped up there a few days back, and now we're back down in here. We might need to pop it a little higher. You can see back here in 2021, we really topped it out near 97% of the S&P 500 stocks were above their 200-day moving average. And then we grounded off, and there was the high in the market. Lower and lower participation rates, and then we went down the toilet. So this thing can make a high. We can still make higher highs as the participation level drops before we roll. So that's kind of the general layout of the market there. Gold, still spicy. Still hanging out near the top. China market was closed yesterday. Saw a little dip earlier. Now we're coming back. Can we break it out? That's a good question. I'd like to see it. Here's what we got cooking. Made a nice low. Right here. One. First move down. Retrace. Came up almost an echo down. That could be a good spot. Doesn't have to. Right there. Doesn't have to hold there. So we've got this move down. Found resistance at the 618. Got to break through that. So here's the zone we need to break through. Right here. Get rid of this target because we hit it. Doesn't matter anymore. Come on. Get off of there. Get off of there. Come on. Ah. We have to go to the daily chart to get rid of it. Back down to the 15. So we've still got that resistance cooking in here. Got to break through that to go higher. The next move up incrementally, 27.18. Now we're working on this retrace right now. Held a measured bounce. That's a beautiful kind of setup. So the potential here actually goes a little extra spicy. Potential to get up to 27.42 on gold. If we can break out. If, that's a big if. We have a secondary potential breakout level. 26.84 would be the indication that we might be cruising on up to this zone right over 27.30, 27.40. That's gold for you. I'm setting an alert. I'm going to be watching it. I may trade it right there. How do you trade gold? You can trade options on GC. You can trade GLD. UGL. There's all sorts of ways. Ultra gold, leverage gold. Now, the problem here, you can't get out when the market's closed. If you're trading options on GC, you can. I don't encourage trading futures. That's one of the things on the list. Don't trade stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. Be careful. You may lose money. Bitcoin. Continuing to grind on that retrace. Gosh darn it. I don't like being right sometimes. I said we were probably going to come back to the roadmap line. We're here. We made it. Yeah, yesterday morning, I was talking about that. We got there yesterday. Today, just grinding on it. Do we need to retrace the 618? That's the question. Do we need to go a little deeper? Do we need to go down here? I don't know. I'll just, so that's a support. If we can turn, if we hold it and start breaking up, probably going to go try to break out. If we push on down, if we start getting below, I've actually got an alert right there. If we get below that, we're probably coming down to here. I've got an alert there at 58. If we break down below that, if we start pushing below that, last line in the sand is that 55.6 area. Get below that, we're probably making a lower low. Lower low. Lower than this low right there. Hey, my thing is in the way. What is that? All right, thank you. Thank you. Probably going to make a lower low than this low right there. So if we break down over here, right down in here, and we could come all the way down to 38. That's been in the cards since we made this high over here. Been in the cards since March that we could go all the way down to 38 on Bitcoin. That'd be a rough flush out right in front of the big potential rally. All right. That's Bitcoin for you. Ethereum looks like it might be working on flushing on out. It needs a lower low. I've been watching this on the futures. We got the lower low on the most of the spot markets. We did not. All the big exchanges, we did not. Somebody yesterday was asking me about a smaller exchange, and it's like, well, you got to make your decision. If you're going to roll with that exchange, you can't go look at other exchanges. So here's the biggest exchanges right here. And the further you go down the list, the less reliable the pricing numbers are. All right. This is a list of crypto exchanges. There are, 751 of them right now? You'd be like, whoa, 751? Yeah, and the thing is, there's no universal price for crypto. Each exchange has its own independent price. Arbitrage between the exchanges by traders is how prices are balanced between the exchanges. So right now, Binance's price is one of the best prices to use. Look at the 24-hour trading volume. Binance, that's pretty good. Crypto.com, that's pretty good. Bybit, that's pretty good. And you roll down through here. The more volume they have, the more you can trust that price. Or those prices. Why Binance? Because they're kind of the international exchange. We get Crypto.com has a bunch of international exposure. And we roll all the way down here. I thought Coinbase was big. Coinbase is big in the United States, but not necessarily worldwide. As far as the way CoinMarketCap rates them, they rate Coinbase number 2, and they have their own rating system on why. Looks like they're ranked, and you can go by average liquidity or however you want to rank them. But so there you go. There you go. All right, moving on. DXY. That wasn't really, I was just kind of breaking it down for you. I couldn't really type that all out. So dollar found support so far. Here's the resistance, 102.60. Next. So sideways in this range is what I expect. Sideways in this range until we break down or we break out. I do expect resistance here, and the roadmap line may come down, and we may actually at some point in the future come over here and test that roadmap line. Roadmap line could come down into this. We can come up here, hit that before we reject down, and maybe break down into the next support level, and then eventually, potentially, we're going down to the mid-90s. I've said that for 2 years now. It's just a matter of time. It's going to take a while. I mean, we're just working our way down there. Could be out in 26, could be out in 27. I don't know. Could be a while. We're probably working our way down. I don't think we're going higher than here before we go down here. And if we break down below that, we're going to the low 90s on down. Going back to the bottom down here. NKD. Watching for the breakouts. It was looking strong yesterday. Ended up with a red doji. Doji. So on the little bit smaller time frame, we have a move down Have that resistance where we're stopping right now. Funny enough, look at that right there. This could result in a further decline. That move down, this retrace. That next move down could take us right down here. If we do that, the US market's probably going to react negatively right there. Sometimes simple as that. All right. What's popping? What's dropping today? So I go and I pull everything that's moving $2 or more in the pre-market. That's $2 up, goes on the gainers list. $2 or more down, goes on the decliners list. And then I have a bonus trade at the end if you hang out with me. So let me know if anything I say or talk about is helpful, beneficial. Let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up on the video. And I appreciate all the feedback. FUTU. Still going nutsy cuckoo. It was going crazy yesterday while the Chinese market was closed, and we're still ramping off today. This thing, if we get up to, let's pull this down to the low. Oh, we're so close to the 618 here. If we can break above the 618 level in here, if we can break above it, we may, in fact, be heading right up here to 200. That's 100%. That's a double from where we are right now. Potentially. Could see that right there. That'd be absolute insanity. But we could see it right there. So this is the resistance zone. We may turn down from here. We could turn down, come right back down. So be careful on chasing that one. I say chasing because we're already hitting targets on the upside. And UNH finally ramped up, hit the targets, and 630 above that. This took, gosh darn, 2 years to consolidate here. Almost. Year and a half anyway, before we finally broke out. 2 years, yeah, 2 years. From here to here was 2 years. Look at that. Craziness. That to that. Right? 731 days. Now we're finally breaking out. Could we go on a massive run? Maybe. Maybe. I think 630 is going to be resistance before we pull back, but we can just shoot on off higher. You know, it did grind and grind and grind before, right up into where we were. Paused. Now we can grind again. We can go on this another monster grind. So if we compare what we did from this low over here to that high, echo that off of this low over to the new high, we could grind it all the way up to 800 right there on UNH before we find the next resistance area right up in here. Be an echo of the last big run on UNH. This big run over here from 2020 through 2022. Just echo that right over here. Could be running up through 2026, 2027. I mean, you will have bumps and humps along the way. The yen, wow. Got 3x leverage on China, and it might go ripping off. Now, exponential moves usually don't end well. You can see right here, we went ripping up, and we took it lower low. This one coming up pretty strong. If we get up in here, we may, this may be indicating we get another deep retrace. Just because China's stimulating everything doesn't mean that everything's fixed. All right? When's the reality hit? That just because they announce stimulus, free money coming to the market, doesn't mean everything's fixed. Doesn't mean the economy changed for China. Doesn't mean they can actually make money just because money is available. It's free money for all. Can it take the market higher? Sure. PDD, Temu, looks like, man, that one's going for the target, 175. Beautiful. I should have bought back here. It was 90. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Don't play that game, but that triggered the trade. 175.88 is the target on PDD. CWeb, golly. Get the extension targets. This is leveraged China. Let's go with the different targets. Talk about where we might head. That low, that high, this low. Potential to rally up into this zone right here, around 80, 80, 90, 80 to 90, 78 to 92. NTES potentially breaking out of the downtrend. Could set it up to rally up here, 150, 160. Baidu. God, this one's got so much to work through. So much stuff I've drawn on here. Let's just clear it off. I don't want to clear my target up there. Let's clear all this stuff. There was like a way to selectively clear some stuff, but not everything. There is not. There we go. Mostly clear. No, don't delete my alert. All right. Baidu. Pull that down right to there. So we do have an optimistic target way the fudge up there, but more realistically, probably going to find some major resistance in this 160 to 170 area. If we can break on up, confirmation that we're probably going to go up there. It's coming up just above us right here at the 130 area. That's what I see as the high probability trade. If it sets all the way up, we're not even there yet. You could buy on hope and a dream, but you better be willing to sit through a pullback, because so much of this stuff is ramping off that I would really expect. Here's what I really expect to happen, just based on all the years I've been watching charts. Come up in here, bounce back down before we do that. Now, this may never happen. That may never happen. If it does happen, that's the opportunity. If it doesn't happen, I missed it. That's the way I look at it right there. So, and how do you know when it happens? You put an alert in here, like right back down in here, and you just periodically keep up with it. Set your reminder in your calendar. Go check up on it every 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. That's the way I do it. I mean, create tools to try to watch this stuff too, but not all my tools work. Price alerts, I have alerts all over the place, and really, I should make a note to myself. Right there, consider a trade. That way, when that fires off, I'm not like, what did I set that for? When it's like 6 months from now. Bang. Diamondback Energy. This has always amused me when we had FANG stocks and people would be like FANG, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not FANG stocks. Let's see what we got. That looks like a 5-wave up, and unfortunately this might need a retrace back down into this zone. Right in there. Baba. Another chart that I've said a lot of things about over the last several months. Now we're busting through targets on this last retrace, and we could be heading on up. The more realistic target may be right in here. 126, 135, but we could be heading on up to the 170, 180, 190 area. I think we'll get a reaction as we get near this prior high. Probably see a negative reaction before we can pop on up. EDU. Oh, man, if we can close today above that resistance, sets up the target at 103.89. JD, more China internet commerce stuff. Wow, what a crazy move. This looks, when I say a crazy move, I talked about crazy moves on AI stocks, Nvidia. This is even doing it that way, this is getting crazy. So we may be able to take it all the way up to these highs, but if we do, we're probably going to get a major retrace off this stuff. If this pops up here, Probably going to do this like right there. Probably going to do that. API. Wow. Another crazy pop. This is, except for the reverse split missing, that looks like a dumpster fire chart to me. Surprised there's not one in here, actually. Well, be careful. That's danger. That's a warning sign to me. You don't just grind towards zero and then pop, and everything's okay. Highly, highly likely this will go right back down here. Highly likely. TCOM. Yeah, that's cruising. I have a much higher target there. This was a measured bounce, I do believe. Yep, measured bounce with target up here. Nice potential. 1, 2, 3. Right there, target. CQQQ, China QQQs, just ramping on up. We do have a resistance right up in here. CRM. If you're chasing China stuff, you're late. All right, just be careful if you're chasing China. For me, I'm not trading it. I'm not even chasing it. It's one of my, it's one of the 4 things that doesn't always follow the patterns. And then some of this leverage stuff, it like just amps it up even more as potential to take a loss. So I'm just not chasing it. Like I'm staying in my lane. You'd be like, well, so much money to be made. Yeah, so much money to be made, so much money you can lose. Like that. When it, when the trend's your friend until the trend dies, and then it's a rug pull, and then what? So CRM, here's the resistance. We get above it, going up here. If we turn down, we could come down here. There's the long and the short of it right there. Potential to go up here, but the chart looks nasty. Oh no. If we get the daily close above here, above 280, it starts indicating we can go higher. We do have that more resistance right up there to 290. So that 280, 290 area, if we can get above it, we would be all clear for now. 333 of the target on the upside. GXC, another China. This is a spider product right here. Resistance right there. MCHI. iShares. This is BlackRock's China ETF. You notice the same pattern on all these. They've got that double top over here. We're getting up there close to it. Billy. Absolute nuts, man. Absolute nuts. Why? Yeah, this makes no sense to me. Resistance up to 33. If we get up to 33, we probably pull back, retest support. We just ran away and left support. So things like that can definitely pull back and retest support. Beak. We're in the danger zone for a reversal. And if we can muster the mayonnaise here, 52 is the resistance. We're breaking out to 89. I don't see it, but hey, tons of money to be made. China bulls, just getting started. We've got those highs over there, just like the other charts. There's the resistance. This is a leveraged product. LI, just chopping in the range. Sideways is the name of the game. More of that. And KWB, more China internet. That one has broken through. Well, that's kind of like an uptrend of those 2 highs. That high. Looks like resistance will be right up here around 42, 41, 42. CNXT, another China ETF. It's the name of the game today is China ETFs. China exposure. See, this is what you get when everybody feels like they're late to the party. And then once the last sucker is in the boat, they flip the boat and everybody goes down. So the time to buy is on the retrace. Like, wait for this to play out. Buy down here, and then we can ride it up here on the breakout. But we're going to rip There's going to be money. Like, they're going to rip everybody. It's going to happen. I don't know if it happens from here or it happens from here and it happens from here. They're going to rip everybody before we go on the big move even higher. It's just going to happen. All right. Short squeeze is going to play out. Last one's out of the boat. And then they rip everybody. That's just the way it works. Chevron. Don't get FOMO. Don't get the fear of missing out on China. That could be complete on the bottom, but that is not a chart that I want to get involved in. We're just going to have to wait. Wait on what? Wait on a breakout above this downtrend of lower highs and the roadmap line. Like the roadmap line first and then the downtrend of highs. Then we can talk about it. But right now, it looks like it's going to go sideways to lower. ZK. Not enough candles to do anything. Run the high, run the low. Potential to go higher to 34.99, but Cybit, Stockyards Bank Corp looks like we want to come back down to the roadmap line. BABX, 2x leverage on BABA. If you think BABA's going to that 180, here's the way to play. You get 2x leverage. You can just hold shares. You don't even have to go for options. Right there, 44 on the upside, not too shabby. FXI, another China ETF. This is the popular large cap China ETF. If BABA and Baidu and PDD are rocking and rolling, this thing will rock and roll higher. Upside potential targets. Go for that low, go for that high, go for that low. Potential 38, maybe 44 right there. And start selling. Yeah, I mean, hey, stay away from Chevron. Their deal fell apart with Hess. I mean, you can only tug on the cape of. Yeah, I read another funny analysis. You got these big companies in there. The government's like, we can't have monopolies, blah, blah, blah. We can't have. So what about these big labor unions that just basically shut down? If monopolies take over and create inflation and blah, 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 control prices. What about the labor unions that shut down the ports and cause all sorts of economic problems? It's an interesting. It was an interesting. What do you call it? A comparison. So anyway, upside potential on this one, maybe up to 33, maybe up to 35. We do have some more China stuff here. We do have those two highs over here. May find resistance. LEU. And there's an Energy Corp that actually is trying to break out right there. Did a potential measured bounce. That can push this up into the 78 to 91 area. Retest that prior high. Right in there. PGJ. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Breakout. Potential resistance up here. It's Golden Dragon ETF. Another China ETF. XOM. Potentially rocking and rolling here. We do have this channel we've kind of been rolling in for a while. Big if, we can break on out. Target 126, 128, 134 for now. Right there. HTHT. Sideways choppy, no hot mess right there. Nothing. ERX. More sideways choppy hot mess. This is Energy Bull with the 2x leverage. If you think energy is actually going to pop, here's a way to take advantage. If you want to be in more energy stuff than just oil, I'd go look at the ETF holdings, see what it's actually made up of. There's probably a button for it here somewhere. Price returns. I forget how to get to the. Here we go. Overview. News. Somewhere in here they have the holdings. I can't ever remember how to find it. Energy middle. There we go. Kind of cash, bonds, stocks, energy minerals. So they hold a lot of minerals, mineral rights. Looks like industrial services, stocks. There's the top holdings. There we go. So you come on to, you click on the ETF and then come under analysis down here. They keep changing this a little bit. So we've got the top 23 holdings, or the top holdings. They got 23 total holdings. Top 10 US dollars, 27% of what they hold. XOM, CVX, ConocoPhillips, EOG, SLB. Well, there you go. That'd be their top 10 holdings. And they do hold a bunch of mineral rights. So. Alrighty. All right. How do I get back to super charts? That's not the right button. And that's not what I want either. Cool. It jumped up, popped up a new tab. So there we go. XOP. I mean, let's be honest. That looks choppy, right? That's choppy. I'm not making a strong case for there being a breakout. It's a lot of projection of breaking out. XOP. Still under the roadmap line. Still looking kind of bearish. I don't know. That fake breakdown could be all we need to pop out of here, though. Fake out right there. Fake out and pop up, retest, and launch and go. And it could be heading up here. If you believe in magic. AVT support right down in here. That would be where I expect it to go. This high, this retrace, that dip right there, support. If we do that, potentially $28 upside. DQ. That looks like a dumpster fire chart. I would be very careful. We did this kind of break above the roadmap line before. Faked it out and went lower. So watch out for that same fake out right there. Decliners, Humana. Even though UNH is on the poppers list, Humana going down the toilet. Ooh, right near the COVID lows. Holy whoa. Wow. Wow. So I kind of expect that to go lower low at this point. That's kind of the bubble chart, isn't it? Look, it's ramped up, consolidated, and then this could come all the way down here. Could come back to 93 area. That'd be pretty wild. Elevance. Came out, well, maybe it did hit the target. Let's see. Thank you. Alerts. That high, that low. Yeah, we basically hit the target. Retracing. That one might retrace deeper. I don't know. It made a pretty big move. That could come back to this level right in here. Nike. They pulled their guidance for the year. And maybe we go actually hit the target down on the downside there. Nothing so far. That was a 3-wave up. Continuation down. That low, that high. Break through this, the bottom of this orange box right here. Get below that 77 area. Probably coming on down to 67, if not 65. Lululemon. Still below the roadmap line. Still hasn't done anything bullish and may go lower or may... I mean, it's entirely possible we just consolidate here for months, a few months. TRP coming back down to the roadmap line right there. LW under the roadmap line and may go for a lower low. GEV, GE Veranova just keeps grinding higher. I mean, 269 resistance, maybe 316 above that. Don't have enough chart, don't have enough pullbacks. You know, after the spinoff here from GE Aerospace, we don't. I don't know. Not enough chart to do anything with. You could be like, hope with a prayer, and, you know, there's some things don't necessarily trade with chart patterns, and this might be one of them. I mean, there is chart over here, but because of the spinoff, it's an unknown. Like, we don't know what the chart is over here. So without having that knowledge, it makes it so you can't really take advantage for me. And you can trade on fundamentals or whatever it is you want to do, but that's not how I trade, and that's not a trade for me right there. Just stay away from the stuff. When you don't know, like, you don't have enough information, you don't know, and where it targets, I don't know. FXP, ultra short China, going in the toilet. That's probably going to blast down if China breaks out. Blast down even more. $10, $6 below that. TMF. Treasury. Coming down to the roadmap line again. Speculated this might bounce up, but it also can go lower low. If we get back below these lows over here, come back below the roadmap line, first warning sign, break back below this 49 area, second warning sign, break back below this low at 43, next warning sign that we're coming on down to 34. This did reverse split right here. All right, bonus trade for today for the 125 of you still left. Oh, it didn't throw it on here. Huh. Here it is, WM, waste management. So here's now the bigger potential over here is still sitting there. We did do a substantial gap down. Now, here's the thing though. We did a micro bounce, and it doesn't require the gap to be filled to get the target. We fired off the entry today, the target right up here, and I brought the details. Now, this is not the strongest, bestest trade ever, all right? I do disclaim that before we actually jump into the statistics of this particular setup. It is not the best ever. I probably am not taking it myself, but it is a setup nonetheless with a 71.05% win rate right there based on 38 trades. So this is a statistically significant setup right here. 71% of the time we work out. That leaves 29% of the time we don't work out. Has a smoking profit factor of 6.36. This thing, when it works, it really works. I mean, that's, you know, the $6 upside. You know, profit factor is $1.43 right there. 1.43 or 473. Get the numbers out the right order. Upside potential, $6.30. That's pretty good. And a profit factor of 1.473 right there. That's positive. It's not above 2, but it is positive. And we don't need a breakout to a higher high. We don't even need a gap fill. We don't even need all these things. So there's the target, 214.29. Stop, 199.29. Right there. Not the most banging trade ever, but a trade nonetheless. Trade nonetheless. So looking for that right there. All right, bias for the day. For those of you still hanging around, Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share with a friend if you know anybody that might find anything I say or do beneficial. And, well, we might be hunting that reversal here. Let's check it out. Oh, we did it. Look at that. We touched that. Remember what I said in the beginning? Look at that. Look at that. Now if we break above here, we're cruising. Cruising. Can't believe that. Like, sometimes I get lucky. It's just price action. It's not like, it's not magic. It's just price action. Seen it before. It'll do it again. Like, it won't do it ever exactly the same. But this coming up shy, I just kind of thought we might dip and touch it. Now we break above. We get back above. Yeah, the roadmap line is really the first indication here. We run the fib lines. So the major upside resistance starts here, or upside, that's the major upside resistance. We break through there, we're probably going out to new highs right there. That would be it right there. Save my alert. All right. Thanks everybody. I did put a poll in the on the channel. See who wants to add the who wants vote for content. That's basically what it is. I threw an idea on the channel. It's in the posts section. If you don't know where that is, go back to the channel homepage and look at the posts tab. There's like live streams and videos and stuff like that. And you can vote for content. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.